would come, and there was a kid that we had at the time. He was attending our school. His name is Joey B. We used to call him Joey B. Joe Leffigat, who, by the way, is another White Oak Warrior. But Joe, he ended up playing at Rutgers. But I remember because I would get a bunch of mail from Temple, and it was one of those just regular mailers. They didn't offer me anything like that, but they wanted Joe really bad. So the Coach Day came to good counsel. He watched the practice. He invited a ton of us to camp. We went to camp. I remember going to several camps because they wanted Joey B so bad. And not only that, the quarterback that they recruited that year, his name is Chester Stewart. Chester Stewart was the starting quarterback at DeMatha, which is our rival school. So Ryan Day was very familiar with good counsel, had a ton of relationships with them. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because as it would have it, he went from Temple and then he spent some time with the Eagles. And then you take that Northeast mentality that he has, right, that he clearly built his career from, or where he started at, and you take it to the Midwest at a place like Ohio State, and then you learn under one of the GOATs in the college football world. Again, a Michigan fan, I have to admit it, Urban Meyer is one of the GOATs when it comes to college football. You take his style and you take Urban Meyer's style, where he learned the game in the Ohio mentality, and then you see the success that Ohio State has continued to have throughout the time because of that proper mix. All right. And I'm telling you this from personal experience, because again, I was in high school when he was just an assistant coach at Temple. And I remember actually going to Temple for the camp and seeing how he was, the energy, a lot of the ways when I coached high school, a lot of the ways I am when it comes to just that high energy guy that's constantly pushing the guys. I was thinking about when I was at camp and seeing Ryan Day do his thing and the way he was with the guys just constantly on him. And these were a bunch of high school kids. These weren't even the actual Temple guys. So that's him. The next one that's in the Final Four, James Franklin. James Franklin, I remember when I was actually a little younger than that, because I was still a sophomore in sophomore in high school when I went to the University of Maryland camp. And you see this shirt that he has right here at the bottom. So bottom right of your screen, you see James Franklin with that Maryland Terrapin shirt, that gray one. This was like Under Armour was just making some headway. They were just giving out shirts and all that kind of stuff, like Kevin Plank. But I tell you, I've wrapped up in the business. They were just making, like Kevin Plank, the Under Armour people just put out these shirts. They weren't officially a sponsor yet or officially a uniform provider, but they were giving out T-shirts at every single camp at the Maryland camp. And I probably still have it somewhere back in Maryland to this day, but he was the offensive coordinator there. And it was at that point where there was a lot of clinics and a lot of things that we were learning as high school players in Maryland that had James Franklin's influence on it. Like just learning the way to run plays, certain formations, how to disguise this, how to do this, and this is why I'm such a big fan of Tyler Warren and what he's all about. Why I picked Tyler Warren to be the Heisman, because I know the way he's being utilized, and him being from the DMV and having the James Franklin as a coach, I already knew that mentality would work when it comes to Penn State. Again, a Michigan fan, I hate to admit that both Ohio State and Penn State are doing well, but this is the competition. This is the mix that you need if you want to be successful. So when I say coaching like you're from the Northeast, it's more so the long and the end of it is pretty much, it's more so about being able to do multiple things and making sure you're not staying stuck in one type of attack. All right. Whether it's Coach Mike being able to jump from coaching linebackers to coaching basketball players, or, Ryan Day jumping, Temple, and then moving over to the Midwest and Ohio State and taking that mentality, or it's James Franklin, who, bounced around. He actually was at Vanderbilt for a little bit and then came back to Penn State and do his thing. All of it is making sure you're creating a diverse group of people and you're continuously staying very flexible. All right.